This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Justin Foy coming to you live from a bar in the dead central Texas. And I'm here to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America. I got Neil Diamond on in the back. I'm in Killeen, Texas. Just about an hour north of Austin, Texas. And I figured there's only one way, there's only one answer, there's only one path that enables a man to truly speak his mind, and that's to run for the President of the United States. And that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm doing right now. Look at this guy. He wants you dead, basically. Now, can I say something like that? I don't know, which guy was I talking about, here or this guy? We don't know. Maybe that guy? But again, it's got to be a thing of no fear. Now, what I want to do is make sure that I can take this little guy and move him all the way down. Can you hear the song while I sing? Can you hear it while I? We've been traveling far. So here we go. Registering as a candidate. An individual running for federal office must register and file financial reports when he or she raises or spends more than $5,000 in contributions or expenditures. Step 1. I'm not going to spend more than $5,000, and I will take no donations. I don't, if it gets serious and I gain true traction, then, I'll take steps forward on that. But I have a feeling to truly, my platform as an honest human individual, citizen of the United States of America, the only way that I can do it with a clear conscience is to not take any donations, not be attached. I am not a member of any church. I'm a Jesus Christ believer, born again. And if I was to run on a platform, I would make my own, a party. I would make my own called the Protestant Party, which is because I am here to protest. I'm not a Catholic. I am not a Mormon or a Jew or Islam, or I'm a Jesus Christ believing, born again American citizen. I have no attachments to any donations or anybody. I have no secretary. I have no press secretary. I have no treasurer. I have no vice president. I have just me sitting in front of this computer right now, my heart, my beliefs, and my voice. And somehow I feel like the only way to keep it pure is to keep it right here. So that when I voice my opinions, it's just coming from me. And honestly, it's a tool and a shield in order to speak your heart and your mind. And so that people who watch these videos can either jump on board with me and we learn how to figure out what to do. And then I think I need to get a bunch of signatures, but I'm not so sure, so we're going to explore that together. This is the Federal Election Commission, the United States of America. Federal candidates must designate a principal campaign committee. This campaign committee takes in contributions and makes expenditures. I take in no contributions. It's all out of my own pocket. So I don't know how we're going to see. Now, taking receipts, making disbursements, keeping records. These are all things that I am not very good at. So it would be wise, as a presidential type of guy, to start building a cabinet of people that you're surrounded by to help you with these type of things. The reason that I'm running is because I've got some revolutionary type of ideas. First want to say I'm not a revolutionist. I believe in the Constitution. I do not believe in insurrection. I do not believe in violence at all. The only violence that I would ever believe in is the self-defense behind your own door to protect your family. All right? And we're gonna flesh all that out to see why and what are the ramifications of those types of decisions. And we got a long ways to go to establish all that stuff. First steps, getting a tax ID and a bank account. Okay, good, I got that. Gaining ballot access. So I clicked here. We got our appointed treasurer. Here we go. All right. Well, let's click it. Let's just make sure. Hold on. Let's go into a new tab. Let's just do it together. Gaining ballot access. State laws, right? And so you got to go per your state. So right now, I have to go get... I've been living in Texas now. My whole life I've been Washington State guy. I went to Washington State University. Then I went to California to Hope International University, where I got a master's in biblical studies, a general biblical studies degree. I really disagreed with a lot of the things they taught there, and it was friction the whole time. But I'm very glad that I finished it. I met my wife there. I have 2 kids, 6 and 3. We moved back to Washington, and I worked and ran a business up there for 7 years. Now we moved back down to Texas. I got to get my driver's license, and I bought a house here. So I got to get a little bit established before the deadline, which is, I think, March. But we're going to look at that together. All right? So you fill that out. You have to, presidential candidates, contact the Secretary of State or appropriate election office in each state and territory for information on the requirements to get on the ballot in that state or territory. So I'm just walking through this process to establish a little bit of a platform and then share my thoughts about my worldview, the State of the Union, and my ideas to heal the world, heal the United States, heal each state, heal your community, heal your family, and heal yourself. All right, worldview all the way down into yourself. And the reason I'm running is not necessarily to win. I'm not afraid of winning. I think I could win if I was surrounded by the right people. I'm absolutely confident that I could win because my heart is honest. I have no skeletons in my closet. The only skeleton I have in my closet is that I, several times in my life, have talked about the rapture of the Church of Jesus Christ and looked at specific rapture windows of the possible return of Jesus Christ. I've exercised my mind to that. The smartest men in the whole world have. If you look in the history, Thomas Newton Martin Luther, they all wrote about it. Okay, so we've all, since he left, all great men have been trying to calculate the time of his return. I'm not alone in this, but I do feel like I have made some mistakes in that pursuit. It's the only thing we could talk about mistakes I've made in life and jobs and relationships all day long, and I will. But like true mistake in my life, the only one has been like marking a specific date where I think this is when the rapture is going to be. That's proved out to be a little bit of an error, and but I still have lots to say about that, and I think it's important to establish that as a faith factor to know what your worldview is and why we're doing what we're doing on this earth. Many Republicans, many Christians who run for office have a dominion mindset where the kingdom, a Catholic dominion mindset where the kingdom of heaven is on the earth right now, and you have to go take dominion by force. That's what Jesus said, when violent men will take it by force. I don't believe that. I'm a premillennial believer that only when the return of Jesus Christ happens does the kingdom of heaven start. So we are now in the age of grace, the age of Christmas, where we need to share across the whole world that Jesus Christ loves you. That's it. not force you to do it like some inquisition, but to just say it. All right, we'll talk more about that. I got to appoint a treasurer. Got to find somebody who's good with money. But I don't think it's wise yet to have anything to do with donations or anything to do with money. This is my laptop, my beer, my microphone. Cybersecurity tips. Well, I'm a tech IT manager. I have a tech business. I know my cybersecurity. I feel pretty set on that. Oh, yeah. Registration. An individual running for the House of Senate on President becomes a candidate when he or she raises or spends more than $5,000 in contribution. Money raised and spent to test the waters does not count toward this dollar threshold until the individual decides to run for federal office or conducts activities that indicate he or she is actively campaigning rather than testing the waters. The 5,000. Okay, so here we go. So I will take one donation of $5,000 and we will give it to a charity or we'll buy equipment. I'll take one donation. There's my very first compromise on running for president of the United States. I'll take one donation of $5,000 and we'll buy a nice microphone, a nice computer, lights, so that we can sit down, hold interviews, and discuss. Deal? Whoever wants to jump on board with me, let's go. Within 15 days after an individual becomes a candidate, as described, they must designate a principal campaign committee. This designation is made by filing either a statement of candidacy, Form 2, or a letter with the same information. Candidate required to file electronic cannot designate a principal campaign committee with a written letter, but must instead file Form 2. All right. So what I got here is the electronic process is file Form 1 and the process to go through and do file Form 2. I also need to contact these people in the state of Texas after I get my Texas identification. I have a Washington State one still at this point. I own a home in Killeen, Texas. So everything's ready to go. I just got to go to the DMV. There he is again. Can't even barely look at that dude's face. I've got a lot more to say, but check it out. Let's look at the deadline. There was one more thing. See, there's one more interesting aspect of it. Deadline to run for president. Independent. I don't know if Ballotpedia is the way to go, but yeah, I did see this. So May 13th. I have 143 days before the deadline. The reason I can't run on the party system because we know why. It's completely corrupt, and my point isn't necessarily to win, even though I know we can. If God is with me, all things are possible. I'm not afraid by just sitting at the computer and start doing running interviews and start doing messages and win. If that's what God wants, no one can stop me. He can take King David and kill a giant with one rock. So it's not a problem. But I will not run on a party system. I think we're not going to go into platform stuff yet today. This episode was to I want to show it with everybody all the time what I'm doing. So you can feel like this is the real deal. You know, who knows if half these people that are up there, if they're even human? Do we know? I mean, the Bible says that a lot of people entertain strangers and they have no idea that they're actually entertaining an angel. So even that shows that there very well could be angels walking amongst us. We believe that, right? And with all this other stuff going on in the world and things we'll go over and talk about, I want to prove my humanity. So we'll start up ancestry tree thing and show it. I mean, think about it. There have been candidates for president of the United States and even maybe a president of the United States where we went, we're not so sure about his lineage. Well, we got to prove all those things first. This is a great start. These are things that I'm going to do. Anybody who knows me and sees this, pray for me. Give me comments, give me advice. And we'll work together. And I'm going to take it seriously. Every day, I'm going to take another step forward on this. And we'll create a platform to express through the freedom of speech in a campaign to share what I'm going to call a national great debate, open the door for a national great debate, and provide steps through my presidential platform for worldview healing, starting, well, look, it all starts God, family, country. That's how the individual must think in his head. But to reach out in a political platform, I will begin to explain my worldview, my national view, state view, county view, city view, community view, family, and individual for the purpose of healing. If we don't do this, if I don't do this, the part of me that wants to try to help, what's that famous quote of most men live a life of like quiet silence. What is that? Let's look it up. It's very important. Look at this. Henry David Thoreau. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. I cannot do that. This is it's impossible. I can't live that way. I've tried, and I can go into like, you want to talk about quiet desperation? If I live that way, I get really sad, and I can go into my bed and I just read books, listen, and not want to come out ever. And I broke free from that years and years ago, by, hey, I got to write a story. I got to make a movie. I got to go help the homeless. I'm going to do this and that, right? And those things have been wonderful in my life. But when you look at the world, and you look at your country, and you look at your city, and you look at your family, and you look at the community, you got to do something about it. So this is the best thing I can do right now. We'll go further on this on another episode. We got to take these really practical steps, and I'm going to do a show about it to show the people, anyone who wants to know, where I'm at with it. And then we're going to start plugging in some interviews. I'm going to start doing some speeches where I really fully describe my thoughts. And hopefully this process of candidacy and running for president allows a human being to speak freely. Does that make sense? Cool. Hit me up on the comments. I hate this part of doing shows, but I need people to subscribe, share it, and like it. I've never really been asked. I didn't really care because I was just like, whoever's going to see these, it's God's meant to have them see it. But now we have a mission. And if you want to join me on that mission, let me know. Does that make sense? All right. God bless. God bless the world. For God so loved the world that he sent his only son. Okay, cheers to you, Jesus. God bless America, because that's what I'm a citizen of. And I have ideas of what I thought America was. I'd like to express that. God bless your state. God bless Texas. God bless your community, the schools and the fire departments and the police departments, your churches, hospitals, places of work, and God bless your family, and God bless you. See you next time.